even been guided to my page in the first place. And so there's something that you need to hear, whether it's this sound healing right now because your mind has been racing and you've been ruminating, or maybe later on it's a message. Maybe there's a confirmation. Maybe there's something that you need to hear. I know, I surprised myself, Mia. I surprised myself. Spirit said, get up. I see you, Ashley, sending you love. Sending you love, Ashley. Breakups are some of the most painful experiences that I've ever endured on earth. So I'm sending you love and patience with yourself and grace and the strength to know your worth and to continue choosing yourself even in the moments when you want to break down and choose comfort. Okay, I'll check it out, Mia. Take a deep breath in. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Kindness bloom. Really take this time to just slow down if you have the availability. Maybe some of you are at work. Maybe some of you are out with friends. But there's a reason why you were guided here, and it's because you know that you need to stop distracting yourself and you need to put more effort and time and make yourself more of a priority, and not just in the gym and getting healthy because we all want, to look good because we think that helps us feel good, and it does. But mentally, you want to be in a different place. You've had moments in your life where you felt very confident in your body, but still very insecure in who you are as a person. There's a difference. You can be confident in your body and still very, very insecure with who you are as a person. Don't get it twisted. Sometimes you confuse the two. Sometimes you project this external thing as something that you want to hide of what you're feeling inside. But when you're around somebody who has the ability to see you because they've done the work to see themselves, that's when you feel uncomfortable, even with the best body. That's when you feel insecure, even when you have everything right and the outfit is perfect. That's why you still feel those weird feelings, because you know that they can see the things that you're trying to hide. And then when you become more aware of that fact, it makes you feel very vulnerable, because now you're around people who are not committed to not really seeing you, because you've said, I want to be seen. You've said, I want people to see the depth. And so then Spirit put people around you that could see you more clearly. And some of you ran from those people. Some of you pushed those people away. Some of you don't talk to those people anymore, even though they were the manifestation of what you said you wanted. You said you wanted to be seen, so you were sent a deep soul who was able to see you, and it scared you, because you still haven't come to terms with what they were seeing. You still haven't really seen what they're seeing. And it scares you and it overwhelms you and it feels intense. Their love feels intense. The way that they pour into you, the way that they speak life into you feels just like too much. But it's exactly what you've been needing, and it's exactly what you've been asking for. But once you receive it, it feels overwhelming. It feels unfamiliar. It feels foreign. And so instead of just learning how to receive it, you'd rather push it away and go back into solitude where you know you have no business being. Because what you've been seeking so desperately right now is connection. But you're realizing that not all connections have to be romantic. But in order for you to feel deeply connected to someone, you actually have to be willing to share all of who you are. You can't just stay on the surface and expect to have these beautiful, deep connections that you crave and that you fantasize about without you being deep as well. So then The next question is, why are you hiding from your depth? What is it that you think that you will see that you can't accept? I'll ask that again. Why are you hiding from your depth? Is there something that you think that you will see that you cannot accept? You can write that down. Why are you hiding from your depth? Is there something that you may see that you may not be able to accept? So therefore, you're going to project that other people can't accept that part too. So then we're never going to get the real you. I'm always going to be getting the representative. I'm never going to be getting the full version of who you are, so I can't really love all of who you are, can I? I can't love the shadows. I can't love the outbursts and the anger. I can't love the anxious thoughts. I can't love the hypervigilance. I can't love the fact that you had a childhood that wasn't so beautiful. I can't love the parts of you that are really insecure even though you're beautiful. I can't love those parts because you don't ever show me. You don't give me the opportunity, and I understand why. It's because the times that you tried to do it, you were shut down, beat, verbally abused, all the things. But now I need you to catch up to where you are right now, because you're no longer that 5-year-old helpless little child. You grew up to be an adult who's strong and resilient. And their voice is actually far more powerful than any punches that they think they need to punch or throw, because they don't know how to articulate themselves, because they haven't taken the time to actually sit and process why they're so angry in the first place. Why is it my first reaction to throw a punch? Maybe it's because I was punched, but I've been running from that version of me that was punched, and I've been trying to save that version of me subconsciously by punching everyone else. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Yeah, this is why I came on today. I didn't know that this is what I was going to say. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's because I'm coming on, but then sometimes I get called in on my days off. And just like I did in corporate America, they would say, hey, Kristen, can you come in on a Saturday? And I would do it. I would backflip to it because I thought it was going to help me advance, or I thought that they needed me and I wanted to help. I didn't want to let people down. So maybe I can apply the same logic to something that I love. So normally I know I don't work on Saturdays, but hey, I got called in. And if I can do it for people I don't give a damn about, I can definitely do it for myself and you, because I care about you and I care about me. It's just a shift in perspective and just getting real with yourself. I'm telling you, the more honest you can be with yourself, the more you're going to be able to flow. I'm for real, and always. The more real you can get with yourself, the more eloquently you can flow through life. Not having to shift shape or be a chameleon based on every room that you're in. You can just be confident with who you are and have discernment with the people who don't vibe with you, and be okay with not having to make everybody your best friend. You work on detachment and knowing that some people come into your life just to teach you a short lesson. And if you could learn to just let go instead of trying to force things, you would flow more eloquently through life. But your attachment to people, things, objects, ideas, beliefs keeps you stuck in a cycle that you don't even feel comfortable in anymore, but it's familiar. You don't feel comfortable in it anymore, but it's familiar. And so you're choosing the comfort of the familiarity of your toxicity over the hope and the light and the dream of the unknown that you know is on the other side of you stepping out. You know it. It's an inner knowing. I'm not telling you something that you don't know. I'm just reiterating what you already know. How you guys doing? Whoa, bring it up. Hey, bring it up. My inner child said, girl, what the heck? Come on now, shake it off. Do something weird, okay? Because it got a little heavy for a second. Can you shake it off and do something weird, okay? Shake your head around. Make them know that it's not just them that you're talking to. You're also talking to yourself. Let them know that you're not just scolding them, but that you're just the messenger, but you're also the receiver, okay? But it made me uncomfortable. Wow, you see, I had to process it. It was, woo, it hit me like this. And so instead of sitting here and just doing this, I just said, said, well, let me move my body. Can I move my body? Do they think it's weird if I move my body? But I think it's more weird if I'm sitting like this because maybe I have some feelings that I need to get out. Maybe I have some feelings that I need to get out. But can I do this instead? Hey, can I do this instead? Can I make up a song? Hey, can I stem like this? Can I stem like this? You know, you can when you're not worried about how you're being perceived. Yes, you can when you're not worried about how you're being perceived. Yes, you can when you're not worried how you're being perceived. Yes, you can when you're not worried how you're being perceived. Hey, oh, hey, oh, oh. Um, why am I like this? Tell me now. Why am I like this? Why do I have so many characters, and why do they come out on this live all the time? I mean, they come out all. I mean, why do they come out so much right here? Why is it like? Why is it? I think it's because I've naturally loved to entertain my whole life, and I think if people would have paid attention to me and said, "Hey, you know what? It's not actually just this little personality trait. I think you could actually do something about it." Then maybe I would have already been doing something. But I think right now I feel like this is my show. I've always wanted to be like on a comedy show. When I was little, I begged my mom to make me to take me to Orlando because I lived in Clearwater, which is only like 2 hours from Orlando. And I said, Mom, I can be on all that. I can be on the Amanda show. It can be the Kristen show. I'm funny. I know it. I got so much trauma that I'm coping with that I got jokes for days. Yeah, I didn't say that, but if I would have been who I am now back then. And yeah, I got jokes for days because all the trauma that you put me through. So you could at least let me make some money, bitch. All right? All the trauma that y'all keep putting me through is the content that I'm going to use for the show. So you could at least let me make some money off this trauma. And that's okay. I'm doing it later on in life. But I'm so glad that Mom didn't because, you know, we saw Nickelodeon is not a place for kids. So I see how things had to be delayed, and I see how I'm protected in ways, and how I look back and I say, at first I say, you guys didn't even care about me. You didn't even care. But maybe it was the protection of Mom not paying attention to me. And maybe because she wasn't one of those crazy, no, maybe because she wasn't one of those super, super, super involved moms that are living through their children. And maybe they took me and did all that. Maybe I am more grounded, or maybe I'm more protected now. You know what I'm saying? I think we can see some of the times where the kid was pressured and they do all the thing and it didn't turn out good. So maybe my path had to be this way, and I needed to come into this self and come into this realization and who I am before more eyes are on me, so that I can stay more grounded. Because maybe if I would have, gotten the audition at all that and made it, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here today. Everything happens for a reason. That's what I just felt like doing. That's what I just felt like doing. Still got some more stimming to go. Look, see, I'm trying to be like this because I know that I have to get on stages, and I've had this deep-rooted fear belief of public speaking. I know everyone thinks that because I do this, that I just should be so confident with public speaking, but that's not the idea. That's not the story I'm telling myself, but I'm starting to tell myself that story. I think I am so connected to a past version of myself who was so unsure of who she was and was so scared to make anybody upset and walked on eggshells and didn't want anybody to not like her. And so that really hindered my ability to public speak, because when you have all those things in your mind, you can't really be present with your audience, and you can't really be comfortable in what you're saying because you're trying to monitor and you're trying to be so hyper vigilant and make sure that everyone is pleased and everyone thinks that you're smart and everyone can really feel what you're trying to say and everyone gets it right, because that is why you were doing it at first. You wanted the validation. You wanted the validation that you were smart. You wanted the validation that you were powerful. You wanted the validation that people thought you were articulate, or whatever it was that you wanted. And so because you wanted that, it enabled you to be really present with who you are, because you weren't comfortable with who you were. And so that showed through your body, and it showed through you shaking, and it showed through your stuttering. And it's not because that's inherently who you are, but it's just because you're not comfortable with who you are. So yes, when you're standing on a stage with hundreds of people looking at you and you're not really comfortable with who you are, or you don't really believe in what you're saying, you have to get really good at performing. And some people just really aren't good at performing. Some people are. But I'm just not one of those people. I was good at performing in certain situations, but when it comes to things that I'm really passionate about, it's hard for me to pretend. And I don't want to anymore. That version of me is actually fading away, and it's actually harder for me to pretend that I'm not feeling anxious. And so let me just sit still and just do this because I don't want them to think that I'm weird for doing this. I'm okay with the fact that you think that I'm weird if I do this. I'm okay with the fact that you think that I'm weird if I do this. Oh, I'm okay with the fact that you think that I'm weird if I do this. Hey, oh, I'm okay with the fact that you think that I'm weird if I do this. I'm with if you think if I do this. I'm okay with that you think that if I do this. I'm okay with the fact that I do it. Because I'm okay with the fact that I am weird. I don't think that that is an insult. So therefore, if you were to say that I'm weird, it doesn't penetrate me the same because I don't have the meaning that you have behind it. The intention that you had was to hurt me, but actually I thought it was a compliment because you could tell that I'm different. I'm glad that you could see me. You know what I'm saying? You thought your intent was to hurt me, but actually it just made me feel seen. And that's what I want. I want to be seen for who I am. And so then I have to be who I am. So I'm glad that you saw it accurately, babe. You see what I did? You see what I'm talking about? The meaning that you give stuff is why you crumble. Because I guess there's a reflection of some truth in there. And that's where you have to sit. Is this true about me? Do I think that I'm weird in a negative connotation? Or do I think that I'm weird in a bad way? Do I think that I'm weird? And if I am weird, can I also be cool? And can I be all these things? Like whatever it is, like what, I don't know. Why does it matter? You know, just do what you need to do. Oh, Lord. I would really love for this knee to get better sooner. Okay? Golly, this knee. You know how bad I want to sit crisscross? Do you know how bad I want to sit crisscross and just, you know how bad I want to do child's pose, bitch? Do you know how bad I want to do a downward dog? I may be able to do a downward dog because that I don't have to flex. That doesn't require flexion. I could do a downward dog, but you know how bad that I just want to do a calf, like a quad stretch, like stand up and grab your toe. Whoo, gosh. I tried to do it the other day. I was like, fuck it. I put a washcloth in my mouth. I didn't really do that. But in my head, the way I'm telling the story, I feel like that if I add that to the story, it's not really a lie. It just entertains you more. And I'm trying to tell people that everyone always used to say, just a side note, people always say, Kristen, you would be exaggerating all the time when you be telling stories. That is not how it happened. I'm like, listen, I'm telling little things and I'm adding stuff that just enhance the story, but it doesn't compromise the integrity of what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It sounds better. It sounds better when I tell you that I got a wash rag out of the closet and I put it in my mouth and I was like, fuck this shit. And I held onto the wall and I grabbed my ankle and I was like, and I started pulling it back because I just wanted to stretch and then the shit hurt way too motherfucking bad and then I stopped. The only thing that was different was I didn't have the wash rag. So it's usually that didn't make a difference. The only thing that was different is that I didn't have the wash rag, but everything else I did. See, it didn't change. Maybe that's just how I see it. But anyway, how are you guys feeling today? I feel like I've been talking a lot. I know. Okay, fine. Thank you. I needed to hear that. Don't push it. But for some reason, I just feel like I should be 4 weeks is long enough. I feel like 4 weeks, come on. Like, why is the scab still on here? Thick as fuck. Why is it still, why? But okay, fine. Because I'm going to the gym this week though. So if you see me posting on here that I'm at the gym, I don't want to hear I'm doing upper body and you can't stop me. Okay, I will. Okay, but anyway, enough about me. How are you guys feeling today? Come on. You know this is the space where we are learning how to regulate our emotions. And one key part of being able to regulate our emotions is being able to breathe and being able to calm down and being able to have our body, feel safe. And then the next part of regulating your nervous system is speaking your truth. Those are the two. If you can remember those two things, you can truly learn how to regulate your emotions. If you can learn to breathe and speak your truth, you can regulate. Hey, I said, you can regulate. And some of y'all say, okay, you say it like it's so easy, but I'm so scared to speak my truth. And I know, I was too. Sometimes my voice literally just won't go. It's taking a week off because I feel burnt out. I'm glad that you took a week off, babe. Still trying to try. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I appreciate that you appreciate it. Mentally overloaded. I feel you. I was in that for a while. I'm getting out of it. There's something that you need to come to terms with. I just felt guided to tell you that mental overload is something that you need to come to terms with. Whether it's the fact that you're overloaded at work, and even if you can't quit work, then we need to get serious about a plan. If you're overloaded or overwhelmed because of a relationship that you know that you're not in alignment with, we have to get honest and get brave to have these conversations. And so I just felt the need to tell you that. I really did, because I think some of the mental overload that we feel is self-induced because of our inability to be honest with ourselves, and not only be honest, but actually make the changes to make ourselves feel less overloaded. Some of the situations and energy that we're around is what's overloading us. It's not even like that we're doing too much. It's the energy that's around us that we know is so out of alignment that when we are in the presence, we feel actually the opposite of what we think the connection is supposed to feel like. We feel like we are abandoning ourselves. We feel self-guilt. We feel self-betrayal, because the more aware that you're out, the more aware you become that you're not in alignment, the more painful it feels. Does that resonate? I feel great today. I was irritated and challenged this week, but it's teachable moments. I love that, Mia. Yep, everything's a lesson, baby. It's just how you perceive it. I want to not be so reactive. I know I used to feel that. So I feel that statement so wholeheartedly, Andra, because I used to feel that in 2021. I'm like, I used to be like, I would be reactive talking about it. I'm so tired of being like this. I'm so tired of like showing up like this. I feel crazy. Why? I'm not even mocking you. I'm literally doing a depiction of how I used to be so dysregulated and so reactive that even after I would be made, like even when I would be brought to present moment after the blackout and I come to present, I would still be like, oh, I'm so tired of this. I'm so fucking tired of being like this. And it's such a vulnerable moment, because especially if you have your partner, whoever triggered this or whatever the trigger was, it's such a vulnerable moment, because in that moment you're fully being seen in this darkness and this shadow. And not only are you being seen, you're speaking the truth, that you're aware of the fact that you're like this and you're tired of it. So then you can't wheel it back no more, baby. You can't wheel it back no more, baby. You've already been so far in it, you can't go back. And this is where some of us feel so much friction and pain in our journeys, because once we hear it and once we see it, we can't unhear it and we can't unsee it. And so then we're like, no, I want to go back to when I didn't know it so I can still behave the same. I want to go back to when I was ignorant so I can still have some blissful moments. Perceived blissful moments. I want to go back to when I didn't know that it was me, because I want it to still be you. I don't want to take accountability for my role in the toxicity. I don't want to look in the mirror and say, I keep accepting that person back in my life. I want to keep using the narrative, why do they keep hurting me? I want to keep saying that instead. I want to keep saying, why do they keep hurting me? That feels better for me to keep saying that. I don't like when I say, why do I keep letting them? I don't like how that makes me feel. It's too self-reflective. It's too in my face. I don't like it. And so let me just say, why do you keep doing this? If you would stop doing this, then I wouldn't be put in situations where I had to self-reflect. You see, if you would stop acting like this, then it wouldn't trigger me to have to self-reflect. And that's what I really want you to do. I want you to change who you are so that I don't have to self-reflect. And so that I don't have to disconnect, because self-reflect and disconnect don't feel good. I don't like those two things. Yeah, I know. I know. I know it doesn't feel good. Gosh. Whoa. The truth is just, I feel it right here in my shoulders right now. All of a sudden, I feel like tingling in my shoulders. The truth was just, whoo, gosh, I was just speaking about myself. I really wasn't talking about you. I really was just talking about me. I really was just talking to myself. I literally saw myself sitting on the couch in my old apartment with my ex when I was doing that. You know how I was just looking like this? I wasn't really looking outside. I was seeing myself sitting on the couch in my old apartment with my ex. And then I saw myself as the third party observer saying that to me. And then I was talking back to myself. Is that weird? That's how I process my emotions, and that's how I deeply understand it. I don't know. Does everybody process like that, or is it just me? It did release, baby. It did. The more I get comfortable with who I am, the more confident I feel. Look, I just released my bad behavior, my shit, my shortcomings, my closet, my demons. I just released it in front of all you guys. So yeah, I'm feeling liberated. What do you mean? Yes, I'm integrating more and more of who I am. I'm practicing what I preach. Because I just posted a video saying that you have to be real and you have to do this. And who would I be if I'm not going to come on here and tell you about my shit? I would be not what I'm trying to tell y'all to be. And I'm not telling you to be anybody, but I wouldn't be portraying myself in the most accurate light. My content wouldn't match my character. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be, I guess, a content creator whose content actually matches their character, babe. I'm going to change the game. Okay. I'm tired of it. Okay. All right. So my content is going to match my character. It does. It has from the very beginning. It's matching it even more because I've gotten more comfortable to show you more and more of my character unapologetically because I'm okay with who I am. I love who I am. And so I'm also okay if you don't. I'm also okay if you can't. I'm also okay if you don't resonate. I'm also okay if you bah. I'm also okay if you do. I'm also okay if you don't. Hey, I'm also okay if you do. I'm also okay if you don't. I'm also okay if you can't. I'm also okay if you do. I'm also okay if you can't. I'm also okay if you do. I'm also okay if you can't. I'm also okay if you do. I'm also okay if you can't. I'm also okay if you do. I'm also okay if you can't. Oh man, gosh, why am I supposed to be able to? Why it feels so fucking good for me to do that though. That's why I'm doing it. I'm literally not doing it to entertain you, but to do this and just do. I don't know why it feels so fucking good. It feels so good for me to do that. I'm for real. It feels like I don't know what it feels. I can't put my finger on it yet. I will. It just feels like just fucks going out the window or something. I don't know. It just feels good to not care. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know. Back up ADHD. Yes. 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 Because you're happy on the inside. Oh, I love that. That kind of made me emotional a little bit. A lot. That made me really emotional, actually. Thank you for noticing. Because that was definitely not my truth for a very, very long time. I felt very, very disempowered, ugly, undesirable, unlovable, undeserving. I felt that very deeply. I was very, very committed to that narrative. And it showed in the ways that I chose love, and it showed in the jobs that I did, and it showed in the way that I wasn't the best friend, and it showed in the ways that I didn't treat myself well. I was really, really very sad. I remember thinking, I remember distinctly believing truly with my gut, no one will ever love me enough to ask me to marry them. That's not reserved for me. That's reserved for this type of woman. That was my absolute 100% truth. I am not deserving, or no one could ever love me enough to actually get down on a knee and ask me to marry them. Yeah, right. That is reserved for this particular person. And I became okay with that because I still wanted connection. But I had connection, but it wasn't the best connection that was healthy for me. But I did have the connection, and there was beautiful parts. And I love all of my exes, not in a way of needing to be around them or talk to them, but I love all of them, and I love everything that they taught me. And I love the ways they mirrored things to me. And I love the ways that they made me feel at times, because it wasn't always bad. So I really, 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 really hope that they are all doing well, that they are all healing, and that they are all seeing the parts of themselves that I saw. That's what I hope. I hope that they are finally all seeing the parts of themselves that I saw that attracted me to them. And it had nothing to do with their looks, and it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the parts that they let me see that shine through on accident, that I was like, no, you're not this egotistical person. Like, you really are a goofy nerd, and you're just so scared that no one will accept that. And so I tried to be the goofy nerd around them to bring it out and say, hey, you're safe here. But some people really have to get to those things on their own time. And I now can accept that. But back then, it was very, very, very challenging for me to accept that. It was. And then I had to really sit with myself and say, how am I sitting here saying that I love people unconditionally? And how am I sitting here saying that I'm the best partner when I truly could not love people for who they were in that moment? And I couldn't make the best decisions to love myself and say, hey, I don't want to keep putting you through this, and I don't want to keep making you feel like you're not enough. And I think that's something that people don't talk about enough, is that they get into these relationships and they want all these things because the person really isn't who they want right now in the moment. It's the potential that they fall in love with. And so then the other person, usually the man, will feel like they're not doing enough. They're never doing enough. They're never doing enough. When in reality, the woman needs to be honest and say, yes, you're not doing enough. And not because who you are, your soul is not enough. I need more in order to feel safe. I need more in order to feel happy. So the fact that I'm not really being real about that, and I'm not being 100% about that, of course, it's going to give off the energy to the person that they're not doing enough, because I'm constantly asking for this and I'm constantly asking for the same thing. And every time we have a problem, it's one thing after another. And then I feel like I'm the naggy person, because deep down I know that I am nagging. And it's because of the way that I don't feel worthy of my needs being met. And it's because of the ways that I didn't feel, let me use past tense, didn't feel worthy of my boundaries being respected. And so I disrespected myself, and I abandoned parts of myself, and I betrayed parts of myself. And so the people that I was with reflected what I was doing, but it hurt being manifested outside. It hurt so much being manifested outside of me with people that I have poured into and invested in and trusted. Thought I trusted, but really deep down, I knew that I didn't trust. And not because they were untrustworthy, which some of them were, but it's not inherently who they are. But it was because I didn't trust myself and my ability to make better decisions for myself. And I didn't trust that within myself. So therefore, how am I going to trust the person that I'm with if I don't trust my ability to make better decisions, and I don't trust my ability to trust my intuition and, based on what I'm feeling, make better decisions for myself, instead of shoving it down and pretending that I didn't get a download that this is not right and it's so obvious. I saw what I wanted to see because I was more attached to the outcome than being respected. I was more attached to the outcome than truly being loved. And that is because this was my idea of love. This was what I thought love was, based on my environment that I had growing up. And so I understand that now. And so I can have so much compassion and love and grace for those versions of me. And I can stop beating myself up every day. And I can stop being scared of love, and just recognize I was really just scared of myself and my own power and my capacity to love so deeply. I didn't even realize that, if anything, those relationships showed me how deeply I can love, even when I wasn't even at my deepest depth. So imagine what I'm going to be able to do now. Like, imagine how I love now. And I think it exudes from me right now. And I've also let go of the idea that I have to restrain this love for romance. I have to restrain this and keep this for when I find a partner. No, I'm going to volunteer at the shelter. I'm going to love on my friends so hard that they're like, girl, I'm going to love on my family and speak life any chance I get. Anytime I come across somebody, I'm going to remind them of the beauty, because I have so much love to give. Why am I just holding it, waiting for this person to come out? I have more than enough. I am absolute love. And as soon as I started loving myself, the capacities within me just started to flow. And so this is why I came on today. I'm not getting paid to come on here. This is not like, okay, at least corporate America, there was some incentive, I guess, the overtime, but I don't need to put in the overtime. I just love it. I love doing it. And I know that it will be returned to me, and I don't have to search for it. I don't have to beg for it. I don't have to do it. I just need to do what I feel called to do, especially if I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm following my heart. It's for the greatest good. And I feel like me sharing my story and being honest is for the greater good. Whether everyone resonates with it, whether everyone takes something away from it or not, that's not the point. If one person does, that it matters. Period. That's a whole life that could be changed. That matters. That's a whole life. I don't take that lightly. I love that. It makes me emotional, actually. I love what I do. I love when we have our one-on-ones and I see you start the call with your aura like this, and then you end the call literally dancing with me like, "Girl, why are you, come on." All right. I love that I didn't go the traditional way and get the degree in psychology and do it like this. I love that I've created something and I just believe in myself enough that I can do it my way so that I can be on the call like, "Girl, let's go." Which may not be something I could do if I worked for a practice and this and the way they want the rules. Well, I need to make the rules. I'm a life path one, and I march to the beat of my own drum, and I always have, and I always will, and I won't be happy unless I can't have creative control over my destiny. I will never be happy if I can't have creative control over my destiny. I will never be happy, and I've accepted that within myself. And that acceptance came with the task of quitting corporate America and building it, because once I accepted that, then what am I going to do? I'm going to know something about myself and then just consciously deny it. That doesn't feel as good as being ignorant and blissful. So I had to trade ignorant and blissful for conscious and aware, and conscious and painful sometimes. I had to trade it, but it's worth it because the pain is temporary. You see? But the ignorant and blissful pain is a numb, dull pain, a numb, dull, subconscious pain that people don't even realize that they're experiencing, but they just wonder why they have to drink so much, and they wonder why they have to smoke so much. It's because you're coping with the shit that you're not really acknowledging on the surface. So even though you're not consciously walking around saying, "I miss my dad, I wish my dad was in my life," the inner child that's living within you still is running a program, and you show it by the partners that you choose. You see, you don't have to wear a sign saying, "I miss my dad and I'm really, really fucking angry that he abandoned me." You show it in the partners that you choose that continue to abandon you. You see? That's why you don't want to be around people that can read you without you using your words, because it makes you uncomfortable. Wow. Okay. So Saturday. What are we doing today? What do we got planned today? Hey, I said, what do we got planned today? You said, well, bitch, we were gonna go out and do something fun, but now I'm in the corner crying, bitch. We actually did have plans to go out to the park today, you know, and now I think I'm gonna go to the park by myself and journal, bitch. Yeah, the kids can't come. The kids can't come today. I'm sorry. Mama got to Kristen said that I got to work on my own inner child today. I got to put me first. Y'all got to stay home. Okay? Figure it out. All right? Mama got to figure it out. Y'all got to figure it out. Mama gonna figure it out. Y'all got to figure it out. But for real though, you have to be like that. It needs to be like that. Now figure it out. Make sure they got a good. Don't just leave them now. I didn't tell you to just leave them. Make sure they're tended to. But that's what I'm saying. Get a babysitter. I want you to try to find it. Get connection. Start to meet other people around. You got to find some space, parents. You got to find some space from the kids so that you can heal and become the best version, so that you can stop shaming yourself for perpetuating the cycles of abuse that you're not intentionally trying to do. Okay, and abuse doesn't look like just physical and verbal. It looks like avoidance, and it looks like rewarding bad behavior because you want your kid to be your friend, because you grew up with a really, really, really hostile mother and you hated your mother and you don't want your daughter to hate you, and so you give them everything and don't discipline them. That's also abusive. It's the pendulum. It swung too far to the other side. We need balance, babe. All right, and you can't have that until you get some space. Can you guys even understand me? I feel like I talk real fast, and I got that from my grandmother. Can you hear me? For real, can you understand me? Because a lot of people say, girl, well, I can't understand you, but I think a lot of people who follow me are neurodivergent, and I think that you appreciate how fast I talk, actually. Am I right? Put a heart in the chat if I'm right. Get to the point, bitch. Get to the point. I'm trying to. That's why my book literally has one thought on a page. Y'all said get to the point. I said bet, bitch. One thought on a page, bitch. Thought on a page. One thought on a page, bitch. Thought on a page. Okay? You said get to the point. I said bet. Here you go. Here's the thought that I want you to know about. Let me know what happens after you read it. A lot happens. That's why I'm saying you don't need that much all the time. Sometimes less is more. All this gets jumbled up. Give me the point. What's wrong with me? And that's what you guys have told me. What's all this other shit? Fuck all the shit. Not that the other shit doesn't matter. We're going to go backwards. I'm going to get you through the shit because you got to understand it. But tell me the answer. Why do I act like this, Chris? I said, why do I act like this, Chris? I said, why do I act like this, Chris? I said, why do I act like this, Chris? Because you want to be chosen more than you want to be respected. That's why you keep choosing people who disrespect you because it's what you believe that you deserve. You don't want to walk around saying that in relationships, so you wear a mask. Okay, you pretend to be someone that you're not, a fragmented version of yourself so that you can gain approval from this person that you want to choose you. That's why you do it. Okay, so now that you know, sit with that for a second. I'll see you next week. Tell me okay, we don't have time, okay? Just tell you, hit it, do it. Now we can sit on it, reflect it, because everything else will start to go into play. Once you accept that truth, everything else will be like, oh, that's why I did that with that guy. Oh, that's why I stayed with that chick. That's why I did this. Yeah, oh, yeah. And then when you can understand, then when you have the understanding, then you can add in compassion. But without understanding, you lack compassion because you think you're inherently just a fuck up or something crazy. Or you're such in a victim mode that you think it's everybody else, and then you can never heal because you're constantly the victim. That's when you say all men do this or all women are like that. That's victim mode. Okay, so that is a key indicator. If you see anybody saying all this, and all that, all this, and all that, all this, and all that, it's victim mode. And it's also a skewed perspective in someone who is deeply wounded and hurt by their finite experiences. That's all. And they're just not able to see past that perspective. And it's because they're hurt. And sometimes it takes people time to see past it, and don't force people to see it. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's where we fuck up. We try to force people to see it, and then those people end up hurting us because they're still hurting deeply within. And you see it. You see the hurt, and then you say, bet I can heal them. Challenge accepted. They tell you, I'm really not ready for it. I just shouldn't do it. I don't know. I don't feel right. I just been going through some things, and I just feel like my mind not right. And you just see this. I can heal you. I love you. I can love you. I want to heal you. I got you. I won't leave you. You need me and I need you. That's what the fuck you heard when they were saying, I'm not ready. I don't want to do this. I just want to keep it casual. That's what you heard. I'm sorry. You heard that, okay? You heard that. You heard that. That's what you heard. And you said challenge accepted. Is this your first time? Can you put a heart in the chat if this is your first time here? Because everyone else who comes here all the time, no, this is not anything new. But put a heart in the chat if this is your first time in my live ever. I'm really curious. And how are you feeling? Put a heart in the chat if you're new here. Damn, there's no one new? Damn, right at that. Got some real ones. Hey, no one's new? Hi, welcome. Hello, welcome. Hi, Malika, welcome. Oh, by the way, I'm not really on here on Saturdays all the time, but I'm just letting you know, don't be getting used to it, okay? But Sundays, I'll be here tomorrow. Sunday service. It's been a minute, but hi, Kim. Hi, Sadell. I love that. It's such a beautiful name. Hopefully I said that correctly. IG, there's no one new. Y'all have all been here every time. Y'all been here, everybody in here. All 6 of you have been here before. I love it. Thank you. I don't know. Yay. You're welcome. You know, when you can be yourself, you can just randomly pull out your clarinet from 6th grade and just do this. And it just seems like something normal. You know? I love that. And I've also realized that being older and just being able to be in my passion and not worry about how I'm being perceived also helps me play better. It helps me play more passionately. It helps me connect to my music more. There's really something to it. There really is something to just really being comfortable with who you are and really not caring. It allows your art to flow more. It allows your music, just everything. Like it just, everything gets better because you really can just step into your true potential because you're not so worried about people judging you all the time because you've stopped judging you. And you know, like even if I do that, it's just like, yeah, that happens. Every music, if people who are a musician is the people who play the clarinet are very aware of that. And so then people who maybe are not familiar with instruments, they may say, oh my gosh, you suck. And that's okay. They just lack that education to understand what it is and what it takes to be a musician. And so instead of getting mad about that or feeling offended by someone's lack of education, just let it be what it is, a lack of education. You don't have to attach yourself to it. You don't have to take in any of it. You can just take it for what it is. But then but that means you have to define it in a different way than maybe you're defining it. You see the definitions? I really have been having this idea that we should all create our own personal dictionaries. What do you think? I think that we should all create our own specific personal dictionaries, and we should define what a best friend is to us. We should define what a romantic partner is to us. We should define what this is, define what associates, define what a job and this and how we want to feel. And I think that we should keep it with us. And if we start to deviate from these definitions that we resonate with, and we're not following these definitions, or the friends or someone that's coming into our life doesn't really fit this definition, then we have to think a little bit deeper if we want to continue expending and giving our energy and time to someone who doesn't really fit the definition that we have clearly defined for ourselves. And then we go deeper if we do start to accept that person, that we can become more aware that we may be falling back into people-pleasing patterns. We may be falling back into dishonoring ourselves. And so then we have to say, why? Why do I not feel worthy of these definitions that I really resonate with? And I can't say that I do resonate with these definitions if my actions are not matching. It's no longer enough just to intellectualize knowing better. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer enough just to live in your head and just say, I know better. Yeah, I am enlightened and I am evolved because I know all these things. I know all these things. Okay, but it matters what you do. You're still stuck. You're still not moving because like it's not enough just to think your way into the life that you desire. So you're still in the same survival mode. You're still living paycheck to paycheck. You still don't have enough money. You still don't have these things and all the stuff. That's still real life. That's still happening. And so it's like, what do we need to change in the present to get to the future? Because the present or the future is only created in the present. How else? The future literally is created with what you're doing right now. And I mean, obviously, look at where you were a year ago and think about where you were a year ago and what have you done and what decisions have you made that have led you to sitting on this live right now. There's a whole step. If you really retrace it, there's a whole series of decisions and choices that you made that led you exactly to here. Is where you are right now where you want to be? Maybe it was for a while, but are you kind of sick of this right now? Maybe it was feeling good for a while, but are you ready to move deeper? You want to go more? I know you want to go more, but then it's requiring you to reveal more of who you are. And that is really daunting. And so this is where we get comfortable staying stuck. And then because we are aware that we are staying stuck consciously, then we amp up the coping mechanisms and the addictions to deal with the frustration that we are not where we want to be because we're not doing the things that we want to do. And then simultaneously, when we spend money, time, and energy on the escapism, we feel even lower, and it actually doesn't even do what we intended to do. We can't even escape the fact that we are sleeping on ourselves, even when we are consciously trying to. The awareness is kicking your ass. I know. Mine too. You said, girl, I didn't know I was eating truth for breakfast. Hey, Leo. I saw you earlier. Yeah, I know I usually not on here on Saturdays, but today I felt called to. It literally was beyond me. I woke up and I'm like, you know what? Well, I thought about it last night. I'm like, I think I want to go live on Saturday. I don't know why, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, today, yeah, I did. I love that you still have your childhood clarinet. I think that you should put it together and just leave it up. You don't have to play it every day, but I think that if you leave it up you will be more inclined. Okay? If you don't already. Look at me just assuming. You might still be playing. Look at me just assuming that you don't even play that bit. Do you play? Let me ask. You see, I just projected. Do you play still? You see, I just projected what I did onto you. I didn't even ask if you play it. That's projection in real time. Do you play your clarinet? Ask more questions and you'll project less. Every time I make a point, I'm gonna do that little jig, like it's like a segment, a sitcom. You know, like a sitcom. You know, they're like, you know, when they do that in the sitcoms back in the day when they would get ready to change the scene, they couldn't just change the scene. It'd be like, I'm gonna do that. This is gonna be mine. I haven't played him forever, but I'm somewhat proficient still. Okay, so my projection was right. Okay, but still doesn't mean it's right for me to do it. But I haven't played him forever. See, my projection was right. Oh, okay, so I was right in that. Okay. I think that you should, okay, so now I'll say, I think that you should set it up and lay it against the wall. Now it's appropriate for me to say that now that I have more context and stop assuming. Now I know I'm right. Okay, put it up. Well, I like this. Okay, next scene. I have a piano, a guitar, you can play all of it. Do it. Come on. You got to remember who you are. There's a reason why. There's a reason why you gravitated towards this as a child, you guys. Let me tell you this. You gravitating towards your music, rapping, producing, playing the guitar, whatever you gravitated towards creatively as a child was not just like something that's not just something from the wind, okay? That was your gift. That was a modality that you were gifted with, my singers, to help you heal. Your singing wasn't just to be rich. Your playing the music wasn't just to be famous. It was a way that you expressed yourself when you didn't have the words because you didn't know how to articulate yourself because of, you know, the mental capacity of where you're at because of how young you are, but you also didn't have adults around you that were articulate in the emotional intelligence that you needed, okay? And so because you didn't have language and you didn't have tools back then around emotional intelligence, not just intelligence in general, emotional intelligence. So you use these types of things to express yourself. And this is where some of us go through this rock phase, or not a phase. I love rock still. But, you know, when I found System of a Down, it was because I didn't know how to articulate my anger. And so I would find System of a Down and be like, work up, grab a brush and put on a little makeup. Hands across the face away to shake up. Why you leaving the keep us on the tail? Here you go, create another Bible. Okay, and it felt so fucking good, even though it wasn't my words and it wasn't my experience, you know, I didn't know what they're talking about, but I felt the energy behind it, and it felt really good to be in my car, roll the windows down and not give a fuck, and people would look at me, because I know some people are really judgmental when you listen to that kind of heavy metal, and they think it's like demonic, and I don't care, whatever, fuck, okay? Whatever you want to think, well, if you like it, I love it, baby, but it was feeling really good for me to roll down the windows and also be seen in that frustration. BYOE. I love System of a Down. I really want them. I want to go to see them before, you know, like I need to see them in this lifetime. I really want to go to a System of a Down concert, and I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to go when my knee gets better, because I'm definitely going to be in full health. Okay, I'm not going to go with my knee hurting, because I need to be in there so I can be and I can't be worried about that doing my knee. It's going to hold me back. So I got to wait until I heal so I can have the real experience. Okay. I can't wait. Anyway. I like this. Let me put this down for a second, though. I'll find a new one. All right. Would anyone... How are you guys doing? How y'all doing? No, no moshing with the knee. Oh, no. I'm so scared. I'll still be like, no. It still hurts to the touch. It is. And it was so annoying because I tried to get down on my knees today. I was like, okay, let me see if I can, like, get down in, like, a kneeling position. Oh, hell, it hurt deeply. And I was like, that really kind of made me sad because it made me realize that, like, obviously... even when the scab falls off and it starts to like look more smooth and stuff, the internal damage is still there. Like the ligaments or whatever I tore is still there. So I am going to have to take it easy and slow down. Slow down, I just wanna get to know ya, but don't turn around, cause your turnaround thing looks good to me. I don't know. I'm clairaudience, so maybe someone needed to listen to that today, okay? I'm clairaudience, so the fact that that just came in like that, someone needs to listen to that. I saw you walking, waiting down Melrose. Oh, maybe you just need to remember something. Maybe you need to play some songs from your childhood that can link to some memories. Because a lot of you guys always talk about, I don't remember anything from my childhood. It's just a blackout. Okay, then music is a way to transcend. We've seen people with Alzheimer's literally remember the ballet from listening to music. So I think that you can listen to music and can help you recall some memories from dissociation. Okay? Okay, so this is why I tell a lot of my clients to make inner child playlists and to be very strategic of the time periods and the songs that they choose, and then let the playlist play, and then you'll see that music, some of them songs, all of a sudden you'll just start bursting into tears. Some of the songs, it may make you angry. Some of the songs may make you have a real visceral response because maybe this particular song was playing in the background when some abuse was happening. Maybe you are going to hear a certain song or the lyrics a different way and it's going to trigger a memory. You know, music is powerful. It's healing. It's moving. It's transcending. It's timeless. It defies all laws. Okay? So listen to more music and be more intentional about the music that you're listening to. Listen to some music that connects you back to older, younger versions of yourself and see what you start to remember, because I think a lot of you guys have forgotten how creative, how dope, how much you used to love fashion, how you used to make your own clothes, how creative you used to be. You used to literally just make nothing. Like you'd make something out of nothing. You used to be so resourceful, and it was because of some of us who grew up in poverty, and because some of us didn't have everything just handed to us. That was some of the medicine that helped you become the creative, beautiful soul. So don't you see? Even though, no, I don't wish for you to grow up in poverty. I don't wish for me to grow up in poverty. But that poverty did something to you. It made you resourceful. It made you start to be able to make something, and that's why you're one of the people who can literally make a 4-course delicious meal out of nothing. You can go into someone's refrigerator and be like, oh, you got this, you got that, you got this. Oh yeah, I can make a delicious soup out of this, girl. We got it. Okay, that's a beautiful skill. Do I hate where it came from? Yes. But do I love that you have it? Yes. I think that's beautiful. I can always find the silver lining in the trauma, because I understand that there's purpose in that pain. I understand that I would not be this person that I am if I had not gone through this. And I don't regret it, and I don't take it back, and I wouldn't change it. Not even the most heinous things that have happened to me. I'm happy that I can connect with some of you around sexual trauma. I'm happy that I can be the person to say it first. I'm happy that I have a podcast with 6 episodes where I talk about some of the things that some of you thought you would never say out loud. I say it in the podcast because I know how hard it is for some of you to say it. I'll say it. So no, I don't regret that if it helps you feel more comfortable with who you are. No, I don't regret that happening if my story moves you enough to actually speak your truth and do something. I love the person that I have become, who I am, who I've always been, and that is with the trauma and with the beautiful experiences. I take the duality with grace and love and respect, and understand that I had to go through it, but it did not kill me. It did make me stronger. And those cliches that we couldn't stand hearing were some of the best and realest advice that we were ever given, but we weren't aware enough to listen. We weren't ready to listen. It was all true. All those sayings are true. Pain is temporary. It does make you stronger. It does hurt. It is true. Thank you. I appreciate you too. Thank you for being here. I'm not going to be this victim forever. I refuse. My life has too much worth and meaning to just sit here and go through cycles of suffering, because I refuse to acknowledge that the things that happened to me did not define me. Or did they? Maybe they did define me, because I love who I am. They did define me. I love who I am. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the impatient, The manipulative parts, all of it. I understand all of it. They all played a role in my survival, in my safety. But now I've gained new tools to where I don't have to manipulate people into loving me, and I don't have to force people into treating me a certain way. I have new tools, but those tools were not coming from a place of malicious, inherent who I am. They were coming from a place of wanting to be loved so deeply that I would do anything like lie to myself and lie to other people just to get it. And I can acknowledge that. And I am not proud of that, but I understand why I did it. I understand my intention. And I know that my intention was pure, even if it looked ugly on the surface, because I did not know how to express myself and I did not feel safe to communicate. So that's how my character was perceived, even though that wasn't who I was at my core, which made it so painful for me to be misunderstood. I just want to be loved, but I don't know how to say it. I have all these feelings and thoughts inside of me, and it feels like they're taking over me, but I don't know how to say it. I don't know what's wrong, and I'm scared to speak because I don't want you to weaponize what I tell you against me. So I'd rather just stay quiet and try to figure this shit out on my own like I always have. This is what me and my inner child have always done. I'm just following a pattern. I'm just following suit. Feels good to get that out. Thank you for listening. That message was for me. I feel so emotional today. It just feels really good to just truly accept who I am. It feels liberating with every word that leaves my lips. I feel more liberated and more whole and more true and more just proud of who I am. I just love it. I really do. This journey is so rewarding, and even though there's moments that I've kicked my ass and I've really been like, I don't know, I knew I would never give up on myself. I know that I will never give up on myself, even when I talk crazy, even when I disappear, even when I lay in the bed, even when I start an ounce a week, I will fall back into the patterns, but I will always find my way back out. I will go back and forth between the tea breaks and I know I got to do it, and I'll fall back in and I know, and I'm working and I'm trying. I just go back and forth, and I just want to be, I've always just wanted to be transparent with you guys. I feel proud of myself when I go 90 days without doing this, and I feel shame sometimes when I can't go 2 hours without doing it. And that's the truth. And it is a deep shame, and it's constant. So I know how I'm still self-sabotaging. I'm very aware of it, and that's what makes it hurt so much. Is that there's still parts of me that maybe feel undeserving or feel just still have such deep programming around money. I know. I know. And I'm gonna have one too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I definitely am gonna have one after this, okay? Don't get it twisted. And I would love for you guys to sit with me. And that's what makes it so hard, because I genuinely enjoy. One of the best things that I like doing is sitting with people that love having the conversations that I love having while we just share it. On a Saturday night, we got some music playing in the background. We all got the chairs out in my backyard. I do it all the time. We're all just doing it, vibing and just accepting each other, loving each other. It's a safe space. We can talk about the wildest concepts without feeling stupid. People actually build on the concepts with you. People agree. It's just, that nourishes my soul. So if I can't find that in a partner, it won't work. I need to be able to pitch a tent in the backyard as adults, pitch a tent in our backyard as adults, have 2 fatties and look up and just talk, have some music vibing. I want to talk about the music. I want to play our favorite songs, and not just play it, but I want to dissect it. I really want you to know why I love it. And I want you to hear that one little do you hear that one beat? That's how I experience it. And that's how I want people to experience it. No, did you hear that one beat though? Isn't that part wait, listen to this lyric though. Listen. And I want you to have that. I want you to have that reaction too. It makes me emotional because I know that it exists, and it's because I'm emotional because I'm no longer settling. I'm no longer settling because I know that this exists, and I've always been this little child. I've always been this child, and this is what I've always dreamed of. When people are always fantasizing about their childhood and what they want, I've always just wanted someone to understand me in that way. Like I've always wanted someone to really connect with me in that way. And I know it won't be every single thing, and no one is perfect. And I'm excited to actually accept the things that are not perfect. I really am. And in partnership, I'm really actually very excited to accept the things that are not perfect, or accept the things that, I guess if I could do this, maybe I'd tweak it. No, I wouldn't. I want to accept that part and still choose that part of the person, fully. Ugh. If it gets on my nerves sometimes, but I choose you. I do choose that annoyance some days. So yeah, uh, feels good. Okay, let's see about my book. Those of you if you want to support me, I wrote a book and I put it out on 10/10/2024. I always tell the story, and it's not because I'm trying to gain validation, but it's just the truth. Like there are some typos in it. I was writing it in conjunction with my dad. Passing away. He was passing away, and I just didn't have the energy to like continue editing. It was just tired, but I still wanted to bring it out. And so I always just like to tell people, because I feel like I guess some of the things I read of people's reviews are like, you should there's some typos and people should know it's bad if you have a typo. So I just want to let you know before you spend your money on it that there are a few typos, but the message is still very irrelevant in there. You'll still get the message, is what I'm saying. And I'm working on revamping. I'm going to relaunch this a new, I'll tell you later. Oh, never mind. But anyway, here's my book, Uncomfortable Truths, a book for breakthroughs. And I wrote it in mind for neurodivergent people. I really loved Cliff Notes growing up. That really helped me in school because it was very hard for me I just kept reading the same line over and over. And this is because I was undiagnosed, unmedicated. I didn't know. And so I said, well, I'm not going to write a book in the way that I don't like it. Like, I don't like all the words on there. It's overwhelming for me. And not that I can't read and don't enjoy reading, but I have to be very, very focused, and I have to be, it just like, it's hard. I just rather listen is how I learn. I'm an auditory learner, and I'm really accepting that about myself too. But I said, I was putting myself in a box when I knew I wanted to write a book, and I'm like, I gotta have all these words, and it just doesn't resonate. All these words, what am I saying? And then it hit me. No, you don't. You don't have to have all these words. That's just as everybody else has all these words in their page on their book. It doesn't mean that you do. You're limiting yourself. Why don't you just do how you do? You love Cliff Notes. You love to the point. You're very direct. You're very blunt. So just make that. The book needs to be who you are. Stop trying to be somebody else. And if people think it's too blunt or people don't like it, that's the point. It's called Uncomfortable Truths. And someone said, this book made me so uncomfortable. It said all these things. And I said, it did. So that's good. That means I'm doing my job. And so then I had to realize that some of the criticism was really just people being triggered. So anyway, that being said, that's why I wrote one thought on a page. I wrote the truth. I just got to the punchline. And then the book I'm working on in the future is going to give you all of the understanding of how I got to these punchlines, so that you can maybe relate my story back to yourself. So I'm working on that right now. So don't worry. I'm not leaving you hanging, because I do know that being able to comprehend these concepts are important in order to change the patterns. So you have to comprehend why you truly are acting this way or behaving this way in order for you to make actual changes. If you don't really understand or comprehend that anything is wrong, then you're less inclined to make the changes because you're not aware that it's wrong. The awareness is the first step in healing. There's 5 steps in integrating your shadows, and I have those steps listed, and I've written about them and talked about them, and we go over them in my workshops that I do. And I do have a workshop at the end of the month. It's on the 31st. It's virtual, and we go over the 5 steps on how to integrate, even though the information is on my YouTube. The 5 steps, if you follow me on YouTube, that information is there. But I go into it in more depth in this lecture style workshop, where you can hopefully comprehend it and understand that without these 5 steps, you're constantly going to be going into these loops. Without these 5 steps, you're constantly going to be going through these loops. And it's awareness, acknowledgement, acceptance, accountability, and action. Without those 5 steps, it is very hard to integrate or change or see real change in your life. Okay? And again, I have videos on going in deeper into it on my YouTube, but we will be doing a live, or not live, a virtual workshop, which you can get a ticket to through my website, which is linked in my bio. If you want to come to the workshop at the end of the month, if you are wanting to invest more and go deeper into your healing, and you resonate with the way that I speak and coach, and you think that it would be a benefit for you, I would love your support, and I would love to support you to go deeper into your journey so that you can actually feel different, because you can't intellectualize your trauma to death. Okay? You can't just intellectualize. It's not enough to just know that you weren't worthy of being abandoned by your father, but then you still hang on to relationships that are just perpetuating that you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? That's confusing. I know that I am worthy of a healthy partner, but I'm staying in a relationship that's unhealthy. So you don't know. Okay? How do we get from the intellectualizing feeling to healing? Those 5 steps, and the last one being action. And I'm going to go deep into that. So join the workshop at the end of the month. It's on a Saturday. It's from 11 a.m. to 12:30. It's 90 minutes. Bring your journal, bring your pen, bring a snack, bring some water, and bring your truth. The more open and honest you can be, because I will have some questions and stuff at the end that are open for people who want to share. Because a lot of us are living similar parallel lives, but just with different nuances. So usually one person's question will be really beneficial for the group. And once you can get honest, it's mostly about accepting. I think people really think like, what are all these things? What do I need to do? What are the steps? What is this? It's really just acknowledging it and accepting. It's really acknowledging it, accepting it, taking accountability. I'm telling you, these 5 steps, it's very, very simple, but also complex because of the fears and all the things that you tell yourself. It's the complexity of it and how scary it is because of, hi Vera, is because of the lies that you're telling yourself, or the limited beliefs that you're telling yourself, or the fear of abandonment that you have. And so because you have all these fears, that's what's actually limiting you. But really, if you just got honest with what you want, how you feel, where you're at, and you just accepted that, and then you just took action on doing better, that's it. Like you can just do that and just accept it. The fact that you haven't accepted who you are is why it feels so just like vulnerable and scary, and oh my God, they're gonna know that I'm not perfect. They're gonna know that I'm not perfect. And it's just like we all know that. And it's just like the sooner that you can accept that, then we can all move on, baby. We can all move forward. It's the fact that you're waking up, you're coming online. You've been the elephant in the room is what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, you've been the elephant in the room. That was the name of my first podcast. Now it's called Stay Hype, but my first podcast was called The Elephant in the Room because that's how I felt. So I literally made a podcast about myself being the elephant. It's really good. I don't know if it's still up there though. I don't think so. But if you want to listen to my podcast, it's on all major platforms. I'm trying to change out some platforms, but it's on all major platforms as of now. And there's a lot of episodes on how I took the leap of faith, how I let go of corporate America, how I let go of needing approval from my narcissistic father, how I went no contact, how I started healing with my mom, just all the things of how I got here, how I started to monetize and see my gifts as something as valuable. So that way I didn't feel wrong for monetizing what I do, because I knew that there's a value and there's a need and there is energy this takes energy to do what I do. And so then I started to shape how I valued myself and how I saw myself. And then I've been able to create a business around existing and being me, because I said, I don't want to believe the lie that work has to be terrible and you have to compromise your integrity and your morals and you have to get paid just enough just to survive. I no longer wanted to believe that, and I couldn't just say that I didn't want to believe that. It wasn't enough for me to just say I no longer want to resonate with this. I actually had to put my 2 weeks in at corporate America. I actually had to focus and get my license in personal training, and I actually had to move across the country and do the things that I needed to do in order to prove it to myself. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't be enough for me to still be at the office right now saying the same shit. Imagine if in 2018 I never put in my 2 weeks and I kept talking about how I knew I was worth more. And I would still be at this job right now just talking about, no, baby, you're just trying to lie to yourself, and because you don't want to admit that you don't. It's more uncomfortable for you to admit, actually, I don't feel like I'm fucking worthy. I actually don't feel like my music is good enough. I actually don't feel like my art is good enough. Be real. I can work with that. But this other shit is crazy. Okay? And it's keeping you in a loop. So the more that you can be real about how you truly feel and not trying to, and know that your authenticity is actually what's sexy and not your avoidance, then we can get somewhere. All right? Your authenticity is actually what's sexy, not your avoidance. Okay? But sometimes we're not aware that we're avoiding, which is the first step in healing. Awareness, acknowledgement, acceptance, accountability, and action. I'm telling you, I've taken a very long time to process and think about this method. I feel like it's 100%. I just believe in myself because I see how I feel now versus how I felt. Okay? Anyway, get to the book. How did we get off of this? I don't even know what we were doing. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to randomly do it. TikTok shop. You can get it on here. I have to say that because they be tripping. Okay, you can't. TikTok shop. You can get it on TikTok shop. I'm sorry, I have to say that you can't. But okay, but TikTok shop. You can get it on TikTok shop. All right, sorry guys. The IG is probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have to just always do this because they want their money. But click the link in my bio. Okay, so page 57. Let's see what it is. Page 57. Let's see what it is. Page 57. Let's see what it is. All right. Someone needs to hear what was on page 57. Let's see if I need to hear my own words today. Okay? Because this healing is not linear, baby. It's cyclical. So sometimes I'll be reading my book talking about, damn. I'm saying, and then I said, didn't you write it? You want to have this thought 5 years ago. You wrote it. Well, not 5 years ago, but you wrote this 2 years ago. And not you sitting here 2 years later reading it, feeling triggered. We already been through this. Clearly, it's your book. And that's what made me realize, oh my God, this shit really is cyclical. Because this is my words already. I already know. What the fuck? Okay. Anyway, you're scared that how you feel is too much because in childhood, you were made to feel like having any feelings at all was a burden. Bars for your inner child, bitch. So there's a lot of validation for your inner child. I spit bars for your inner child in here. I spit bars for your inner child in here. You want to hear it again? You're scared of how you feel. You're scared that how you feel is too much. And I put quotes, bitch. All right. You're scared that how you feel is too much because in childhood, you were made to feel like having any feelings at all was a burden. Damn it, you can't have no feelings. So of course you feel too much because your house was numb and void, bitch. Okay, your house didn't have no shit. So of course the little bit of tear you feel is too much. One little tear is too much because it was. You got your ass whooped for those tears. So now as an adult, one tear. Sorry. And I'm just being dramatic because that's how I was. I got to do it. I got to add something to it. You didn't really do that. Maybe you did. But you did one time. I'm actually not being dramatic. Some of y'all did do that. I did it. I'm sorry. I don't know. We do. We get so heightened that it does. When you're like looking over yourself when you can fast forward and you get through all of it and then you can just kind of be like looking over that experience. You're just like this. Girl, all this, just not to tell the truth. Godly, all you had to do is say it. Girl, all this. God damn, no wonder why you was tired. God, this is a lot of energy. And so that's how I am now. That's how I am. That's how I view myself now. I don't look at it like, oh, this stupid bit. I just look at it like, girl, no, you thought you had to do all that? Golly, you just stay with a hoop. Stay with a hoop. You get a hoop and you get a hoop. You get a hoop. You get a hoop. You get a hoop and you get a hoop. I like jumping through hoop, hoop, hoop. You get a hoop. You get a hoop. You get a hoop and you get a hoop. I like jumping through hoops. You get a hoop and you get a hoop. Damn. Oh, that's how I felt. No. I just want to hula hoop on the beach. Naked. That's what I really want to do on a new beat. That's what I want to do. I just want to hula hoop. That's the only hoop I want to be in. Hula hooping with a tea back on in the island. Eating watermelon with seeds. Black ones. I want to be hula hooping on an island with a hammock nearby. Eating watermelon with seeds. The black ones. Okay, I want watermelon that don't blend. I want watermelon that I can't mold like Play-Doh. I want watermelon that I can't build a snowman out of. I want watermelon that doesn't bend into shapes that I've never seen. I want watermelon that I can actually take a bite out of. I want watermelon that has water in it. Okay? I want watermelon that actually tastes like something. All right? Sorry, I'm just really upset about the food situation. So anyway, you're scared that how you feel is too much. All right. So I'm really trying to validate you to understand this. So this is why I'm writing it like this. Okay. You're scared that how you feel is too much. Okay. So this is for someone who's felt like they were too much. I'm trying to validate why you feel that way so that you can have some compassion, because once you understand and acknowledge and accept it, then the action that you need to take is starting to have compassion. Sometimes action doesn't always mean like, I got to physically get up and do something. Sometimes the action is, okay, I need to stop saying that I'm a burden. I need to stop feeling that way. And even if I do, I still need to speak up my feelings, because how am I going to change the narrative following the same program? So I have to disrupt the program, and disrupting the program feels a little uncomfortable because I'm really comfortable in this program. So the first few times that I start to share, it's not going to feel that comfortable. Why do I have expectation for something that I've hidden for 30 years? And the first time I'm going to talk about it, I expect it to be comfortable. That is expectation. That's why expectations are getting you in trouble. And that's why they say you shouldn't be having expectations for how you feel. Just let yourself feel it. The expectations are why you're shoving it and suppressing it, because you have expectations to be happy all the time. You have expectations to keep it together all the time. You have expectations to always be looking like this because you're the leader and you're the eldest child and you had to take care of everybody, and you're carrying that like a badge of honor, even though it's slowly breaking you down every single day, that you always pretend that you don't have shit going on and that you got it together. You're hanging on by a thread, eldest daughter. You're hanging on by a thread, eldest son, and not just the eldest, the person who stepped up, the person who took charge. It's not even just the eldest, okay? I don't even want to minimize that, because there's some people who are not the eldest son and daughter who had to do a lot. Sometimes it's the baby, okay? Anyone. And so at some point, you got to let go of all this stuff and let it out. At some point, you have to stop framing yourself as this person who just got it. I'm made of steel. You're not made of steel. You're super sensitive and very emotional. Okay. And that's a good thing. It's beautiful. I love that about you. It's one of my favorite things about you. Okay. This numbness that you feel is because you are numbing yourself. You think that these feelings are going to take you out. You think that these feelings, and they may for a little bit. You may be depressed for a little bit. It's okay. You don't got to be up all the time, entertaining and out. It's okay for you to be sad. You don't got to be on. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Stop. It's extra and it's too much. That is too much. That's what's too much. Not your emotions. The way that you overcompensate is. The way that you pretend is. Not your emotions themselves. Not you. All these things that you think you have to do is what's too much. And it's too much because you're tired. It's too much because you're exhausted of performing. At some point, even actors take the mask off and rest. At some point, even people in the play get out of character, man. Okay? Damn. Some of you have been in character for 30 years. Some of y'all have been in character for 40 years. Okay? Some of y'all have been in character for 50, 60 years. Aren't you tired, Hoppo? Aren't you tired, Hoppo? Aren't you tired? Oh, wait, no. That was the wrong one. I was really doing The Help. But what's that girl's name? What's the lady's name who's so evil, ugly, nasty, ugly? Aren't you tired of this ugly? Remember what she said? I love that part too. What's her name? Wow. And The Help, the redhead, the one that is so nasty. I don't know what her name is, but when she said, "You's ugly woman, Miss Shelley." Yeah. Ain't you tired, Miss Shelley? Ain't you tired? Yeah. Yes, bitch. Because it takes a lot of energy to hate. It takes a lot of energy to be nasty. It takes a lot of energy. And now collectively, I understand why. And I'm not even I'm being dead ass. This is what I really do believe. I understand why we have this ongoing thing where white people do age a lot faster. I do think it's the hate. I do. I think like that weighs on you, and like the ways you cope with it and all that stuff. Like it does. And I think that like it does age you to be that in that low of a frequency faster, because those low vibrational emotions give us autoimmune diseases, and it makes us sick, and we cope with these feelings really deep down. And even if we're not consciously aware of it, it is doing something to us internally. And so I genuinely believe that. I really do. I think that the hate. But that's just me. Doesn't mean that it's the ultimate truth, because is there any ultimate truth? I feel like we're all living objective truths that we've created societally. But Every person seeing the world through their own unique perspective. And that's why people feel so right. And they just can't understand. They're just like, how do you not see it my way? And it's just because there's so many other realities happening, babe. And I know right now you can only see your own. And this is why we're in this mess. But I just keep praying for a day that we all just wake up. And I'm going to keep speaking my truth because I'm going to help that. I'm not going to be praying about it because that's what we do. I'm not going to just be praying about it and not do nothing because that's what we told me. I'm not going to do that. Just pray about it and then give it to God. No, I'm going to pray about it and then meet God halfway. I'm going to do the work too. I'm not going to just pray about it and let it go. I'm going to do the work too. Okay. I'm so goofy. Gosh, I feel like I'm realizing more and more how damn goofy I am. Like, these people are just up here looking at me. I'm so goofy. I'm just really seeing myself more and more. I'm like, oh my God, really? My dad was right. My dad always used to say, girl, you ain't done nothing but just get bigger. You ain't done nothing but just get older. You still act like a big kid. That's what he always used to say. Girl, you ain't done nothing but just get bigger. You still that same little girl. That's how he always talk about that. I was like, Dad, I know, Dad. And then I do something stupid to reiterate that. I know, girl, God, get in here. Okay, at the restaurant. You are a trip. I miss my dad. I do. But it's really nice. Oh my God, this is one of the first times where I'm really like, I love it. I'm talking about him and I'm not like crying and stuff. I'm having a good memory. I love it. I'm having a good memory and a positive thing. I love it. You see, it's not all bad. He wasn't all bad and there's not all these things. And I'm healing that part of me that just saw him as this big bad wolf. I can see him as a person and there were so many beautiful parts of him. And there's so many parts of him that I feel within myself. And so if I can hate my dad. If I said I hated my dad, that would literally be like I hate myself. I do not hate my dad. I've never hated him. I've always loved him so deeply. I've just been upset with how deeply I've loved him despite of how he treated me. And sometimes I wish that I could have hated him, but I couldn't. I tried. And I'm like, I can't hate this man if I try to. I love him so much. I really do. But I just wish that he would heal. And I wish that I knew what I knew now then, you know. But I knew it right on time when it was supposed to. And all the hurt, like I said, all the pain and the ways that my dad made me feel are exactly why I'm sitting here talking to you like this. And so even though I wish he was still here and I wish that we had more time to be in harmony, I'm grateful and I feel in harmony now, even though it will never replace hearing his laugh and talking to him and giving him a hug. I'm so grateful for the times that we did have. And it's really been beautiful to be able to focus more on some of the things that he did right. Because there are some things that he did right. And that feels good. Okay, let's read one more and then I got to go. Uno más. I'm going to be doing some retreats in South America. And so I'm brushing back up on my Spanish. Cinco años en escuela. ¿Cómo se dice? I'm rusty in Espanol. I don't know. I'm rusty. Okay, I'm working on it. Okay. So let's see the last one. I feel like I never choose from like the beginning. Let's see. Ooh, 24 and 25. Some of you are not going to like this. But this is exactly what happened with me and my dad. These 2 pages. Woo. Okay, 24. 24 was a revelation on how I was able to forgive my dad. Okay. You know, so like, oh, okay, thank you, Mia. So 24 was this page on 24 was a revelation that I had to have within myself, and that was the accountability step of the process. This was the accountability step where I got this. So it says, getting frustrated because they refuse to change is also you not changing. Meet them where they're at or go a different direction. So that was me having to say, okay, this frustration with my father is also me refusing to accept him for who he is. And who he is someone who abandoned me, but he's also someone who did this, and he's also this, like, this is who it is. And so, like, accept it. He's not that person that's going to come over and hang up your picture frame like you see on the movies. He's not that dad that's going to come over and say, okay, daughter, I got you. And I'm going to, these things that you see on TV. This is my dad. And the ways that he showed his love was through education and being real with me and being real as fuck with me. He didn't have that, and I accept that. But guess what? The way that I'm able to speak to you guys is a lot of him. This is a lot of things that he talked to me about when I was very young, and at the time it just went over my head. But he was like, I can't give you maybe all the lovey-dovey and the money and all these other things, but I can give you knowledge, and that's one thing that no one can take. And he told me, I can give you all the money, but that can go away, but one thing that can never go away is the knowledge in your mind. And I appreciate that, because he's fucking right. And I wish that he could have taught me in a different way. Shit, can you be a little more loving? Can I get some? But it's okay. It's made me the person that I am, and I'm still loving, and I'm still learning, and it didn't break me, and it didn't harden me. It made me smarter. It made me more intelligent. It made me more loving and aware. Yes, I miss certain things, and I wish that we could paint together right now. My dad was an artist, and he loved to paint, and now I love to paint. So in those moments, I'm like, geez, Dad, I wish that you were really here so you could show me depth perception. I really would love to learn from you right now. Turns out later on in life, I ended up picking up the gift of painting too, and I really wish that you were here so I could ask you some questions. I really wish that you were here so that you could teach me how I can shade and add lighting. I want to learn how to do it, and how beautiful that would have been for us to share that experience in the 3D. Even though we share a lot of it, he's with me all the time. There's some of the things I'm like, Dad, are you doing this shit? Because how come I feel like I'm almost like better at this? I never used to be really good at painting, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm getting really good at painting. And I'm like, I've never painted like this. I've always been the music thing, clarinet, and now I've already painted like 150 paintings since September, you guys. I've painted over like 150 paintings since September, using some of the artwork that I collected from my dad's house, using some of his old sketch pads and old canvases and old brushes that I was able to get from his house when we had to clean it out. So obviously I know it's his energy, but I think he's really helping me. And I really am thinking about maybe opening an Etsy shop. Who knows? Maybe my dad never really believed that he could sell his art, even though his art is like 10 times better. Like, his art is crazy. I'll show you guys sometimes. His art is insane. But he never believed in himself to sell it. So maybe I'm supposed to sell mine on my Etsy, and just, even though I don't think it's anywhere near worth like my dad's art right now, maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just me needing to just do it, just to believe in myself, and not the fact that it needs to be perfect, but it's just the fact that I believe in myself. And maybe that's something that my dad really needed. And so maybe he's pushing me to do it. I don't know. Okay, so getting frustrated because they refuse to change is also you not changing. Meet them where they're at, or go a different direction. Okay, Andrew, I'll show you next time, when, like, maybe tomorrow I'll bring up the sketchbook and I'll go through them with you guys, because I'm about to get off now. Okay, so I'll show you, and I appreciate that you'd like to see it. I'm really actually love it. I send it to all my friends, all my close friends that really like hype me up. I'll send them stuff all the time, and they're just like, it's so good. I really love it. And I don't know if they really mean that, but their reaction is really giving me confidence. Okay, so 25. Apologies without change behavior is manipulation. Where have you been the manipulator? Apologies without changed behavior is manipulation. Where have you been the manipulator? And the reason why I came to this uncomfortable truth is because I remember, before I was really aware and ready to do the work, I would have these outbursts with my partner, and then I would say, sorry, I do that. And then I would have another outburst with my partner, and then I would say, sorry, I don't know why I'm like this. I don't know why. And then after like the 6th time, what I was doing is, no, I wasn't really trying to say sorry for doing it. I just wanted you to accept this. I don't have the tools to change this. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I can't control my nervous system. I really don't. So I want to be able to be calm, but I genuinely don't know how. And the things that you do make me feel so unsafe that I go 0 to 100. And so that's an indication maybe I don't need to be in this relationship, but I feel so unsafe in this relationship that I just keep getting these triggers, but then I feel so deeply abandoned, and I don't want to abandon you, that I want to stay. So I feel very conflicted with how this relationship is making me feel versus how I think I feel about you, or what I think I really want with you. And I don't know now at this time when I'm speaking that I'm attached to the outcome. I don't know that I have daddy issues. I don't know that I didn't see love growing up. I didn't know that I didn't get hugs and kisses. I didn't know that I had sexual trauma. I didn't know any of these things about myself before saying, okay, I'm ready to get in a relationship and talk about marriage. With all those things were just going to be, okay, get married. And I understand and I see now so many people get married without all those things. Like they get married with all those pieces missing of themselves. And then they wonder why the marriage is built on a foundation of lies. And it's not even intentional. It's just like you wake up. And this is where when one person wakes up in the relationship and the other person doesn't, the more and more they heal, the less attracted they become to this person that they desperately wanted in the past. This person is all who I wanted. This is all who I ever wanted. And then now the more that I heal, I realize it was the wounded version of me that wanted them. And now I'm not the same. And so now I'm kind of stunting my own growth and I feel bad and I'm getting angry because now I know I'm getting faced with the somber reality that this maybe not won't work. And so what I do, because I'm still working through my abandonment wounds, is I go in overdrive on my partner. I go on overdrive trying to fix them. I go on overdrive trying to get them to see. And so now this relationship is not a relationship. It's a client therapist. And it's because I'm desperately trying to get you to wake up before I have to do the inevitable and walk away because I'm still working through my abandonment wounds and I care about you. I genuinely do love you and I care, or I think I do. And so in this moment, I am desperate not to feel the disconnection. In this moment, I am desperate to not have to throw away all what I have invested. I am desperate to try to find a way to make this work because there are parts of you that I think are so beautiful, even though I knew maybe from the beginning that I was settling. Even though I knew there were certain parts, I learned to love you. I learned to accept you. I learned and fell deeper in love with you as it went on. And so now I feel upset that now that you're learning more parts about me, that you can't return the same. Now that I'm feeling upset that the more that you're learning about my shortcomings, you're not accepting me the same. When I guess for me, I did it behind the scenes. I accepted you without you needing to know. You know what I'm saying? I accepted you. I saw certain things and I was willing to work through it even without you needing to know, because I knew that if I keep bringing this up, it's bringing you a lot of shame. It's going to make you feel a certain way. You may run away. So I accepted you without you having to know. And then now I see when you see these ugly parts of me and then you run away and disconnect and just find somebody else in a week. Yeah, I feel really abandoned because I overlooked certain things that made me feel unsafe because I thought that was love. And I wanted to love you through the behavior. And so, yeah, I feel really extra burned now. I feel extra resentful because I saw it. And this is the loop that we go through a lot. And that came from this. You see what I'm saying? Like, look at that whole dialogue that I did from this one. Look what that led me. Look where that led me. Just one truth. And so that's why I had to crack my own disbelief around that one thought on a page can't be impactful and people won't take me seriously as an author just because I have one page. No, this one thought packs a punch if you're ready to receive it. No, this one thought packs a punch if you allow yourself to critically think. No, this one thought packs a punch when you're no longer in denial. So yeah, I've had to really reframe the way I think about myself and the way I treat myself and the way I do things and all the stuff. I've had to really reframe it, and I've had to really remember who I am, and I've had to really love myself even in the shortcomings and the things that I know I've done wrong. I've had to own it, and I own it. And I love all of me, and I understand why I am and what I do, and I understand my intention, and that's what matters. One sentence that, don't sell yourself short. Yeah, as well, extremely important. I do have an important question. Do you forgive yourself for holding yourself back? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I forgive myself. Absolutely. And the way that I show it is through being so vulnerable and honest with you guys and letting you see me in the humility and letting you see me in the shameful moments and just working through it and processing it in real time with you. Because I do forgive myself, and the way that I show my inner child that I'm no longer ashamed of her is by showing up as her. And so that's when you see me do the faces, that's her, that's coming through my authenticity. And so I used to filter that all the time, and that made her feel like those parts of her were not lovable. And if I want to call in someone, I want someone who loves all of me, the goofy parts, the stuff. I don't want someone to be with me and be embarrassed of me. I don't want someone to be with me and be like, God, I wish you could just like grow up more. No, I am grown. This is me. And I love these parts of me. And I know how to act in certain situations and I know how to carry myself. But if I'm in the comfort of my own home and doing something with my friends or acting what, I should have the space to be however I want, as long as it's not an inappropriate time. I mean, when you tell me something really heavy, like, hey, babe, this and this, I obviously know I'm not going to be like that. That's not going to be my response, babe. When you say, hey, babe, there's something I really have been weighing on me and I want to talk to you about it. I'm not going to say, well, what is it? I know when to be serious. Okay. I actually love those moments. Oh my God, tell me about it. Let me know. Let's not avoid. Because I have a deep fear around avoidance. And so I avoid certain things that I'm uncomfortable with, but I also have a deep trigger that people are with me not being honest with me because they feel I'm intimidating or they feel like my personality is scary or they don't feel safe or whatever. And I get real triggered if my friends, like if you tell me something like, yeah, you've been doing this for like a year and I can't stand it. That starts to make me feel uncomfortable. Why didn't you tell me before? Now it makes me look back at all these different situations where you thinking something different and where you feeling something and I didn't even know. Like I need to be in relationships where people feel comfortable enough with themselves and me to be honest. And I have to create that safe space, but I need to be around people who feel safe enough within themselves and love themselves enough and have boundaries within themselves to say, hey, the way you're talking to me, I don't appreciate it. Not let me sit here and talk to you for a year like this and I don't even realize it's impacting you in this way and now you're already 1 foot out the door. That shit hurts me to my fucking core that you don't give me an opportunity to change or to, that hurts me because it makes me think all these things. Am I not safe? Am I a mean person? Do I come off like I'm like an asshole? Do I come off like people can't talk to me? What the fuck? Like it makes me question like, what the hell? Like, what am I doing? Tell me, talk to me. And so I've really cultivated those safe relationships now where I know because people have called me out. And even though it made me uncomfortable and I'm like, damn, I expect it and I appreciate it because that lets me know, no, when I do something, they're going to fucking tell me so I can just relax and take this armor off and take this hypervigilance off and stop trying to monitor them. And we can just really chill and be real fucking best friends. And I know if I do something, they're going to call me and pull me aside, whatever, and we're going to work through it. And we also are past the point that if we mess up, the relationship's going to be over. My friends that I have now, we've all done things that have proven to each other that if you mess up or make a mistake, I'm still right here. So it just alleviates so much anxiety and it alleviates so much need to perform and be a character. And so that's bleeding over into my romantic relationships. That's bleeding over into my relationships with my family, all of it, everyone. I want to feel this comfortable with anyone I'm interacting with. And I realized that it wasn't just the other people that were making me uncomfortable. It was me. I was uncomfortable with myself and I wasn't doing and saying things to make me protected and comfortable. Staying quiet, closed mouths don't get fed. And you have to speak up. Okay? All right, you guys, I have to go. I'm actually late. I was supposed to only get on here till 10:30, but I'm vibing and I'm flowing and it actually feels so good for me to talk to you guys. It feels like so in alignment and I love it. So yeah, but I got to go because I'm going to be hanging out with my friend and she's probably like, where the hell are you, girl? You said you were getting up at 10:30. And I said, I know, you better check. They always be checking the check the thing. If I don't answer, check on the things. Check on the things and then come in there and say, hey, bitch, I'm at the door. Damn, answer the door, bitch. I'm downstairs. Hang out, bitch. Go in the live. Just go in there and just say, what up, bitch? I'm downstairs, bitch. Get out the live. We said we had plans. Okay, I do. I need to go. They're probably like right here. All right. I love y'all. Just wanted to pop in. I hope that this last 90 minutes was what you needed. Okay. Don't forget to get the book. I also created a journal. I already created something to go deeper, but I am creating a book that gives you more context. This is more for you to understand yourself. But I also know that me telling you my stories and my process can help you kind of relate. So I do have a book and a journal. It's available now. It's a great way to support me in my art and my work so that I continue doing this. And I'm really proud of it, even with the typos. And, that's it. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Leo. Bye, Mia. Bye, y'all. Thank you, Cleo. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for all the things. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, all of y'all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Andrew. I love you. I love you. I thank all of you. I really appreciate it, even if I don't see every single one. And even if I don't personally acknowledge every single person, I love every single person here. And you know it. I feel you. The reason why I'm here is because of you. And I just appreciate you. Like, literally, truly. It's the best part of my day. I'm literally vibing. I'm ready to go fucking vibe. And I hope you are too. The truth doesn't have to hurt. Accept it, acknowledge it, and make a choice. I'm going to keep beating myself up about something I can't change. I'm going to learn to love this shit. That's it. It's that black and white. Once you get all that gray area, once you stop with all that other shit, I'm either going to choose to love myself or I'm not. It really is that black and white. I promise you. All that other gray shit is just the fear and all the other stuff. But you got to work through the gray area too. All right. See you at the end of the month at the workshop. I'll see some of you guys in my next mentorship. And I'll see some of you while you're reading the book and hopefully posting about it. Okay? All right.